take this time again, to welcome lecturers on the diet, and also we have school heads from Kohima, 31 school heads from Kohima. So I'd like to welcome all of you again. Today we are very fortunate to have all the heads of school education in this workshop today, and the presence of all the heads of school education also is the in itself is the indication of how important this workshop is for all of us.
Children attain grade level competencies in reading, writing and numeracy. NAS and FLS reading provides a comprehensive picture of students learning across the country and in every state, an understanding of students' knowledge, skills and performance on key tasks, and provide policy planners with information to devise strategy and allocate resources to strengthen poor performance. The National Achievement Survey is the largest nationwide sample-based education survey conducted across India. It provides a system-level reflection on the effectiveness of school education, and it collects information on relevant background variables such as school environment, teaching processes, and student home and background factors. It covers the whole spectrum of school, including government schools, both state and central government, government-aided schools and private schools across India. The National Achievement Survey was conducted throughout the country on November 13, 2017 for classes 3, 5 and 8 in government and government-aided schools for the subjects mathematics, language, social sciences and science. NAS 2017 was conducted by NCERT at the Center, and in Nagaland, the survey was initiated by SCERT, and through this survey, it has helped us to understand the progress towards achieving and learning outcomes, and also suggest ways to improve the learning levels of our children. Again, the National Achievement Survey NAS 2021 was conducted on 12 November 2021. This survey was conducted by the Central Board of Secondary Education as assessment administrator for grade 3, 5, 8 and 10 students of state government schools, government-aided schools, private unaided recognized schools and central government schools.
Work towards building children, nurturing children, children who are educated, children who will grow up to be citizens who can comprehend and who can also be responsible citizens to the state and to the country. The children we have here in the state right now in our schools, this morning I'll talk in the context of the government schools only, since all of us gathered here are from the government setup. The children in our schools are the product of our inputs. The inputs from our schools, from our teachers, from the administrators, from the inputs provided from our system providing the curriculum, the syllabus, the textbook, and the learning transaction that takes place. These are the inputs in our schools. And our students in our government schools are the product of the inputs, the output of the inputs. And it is always important to have an assessment of what our inputs are, what our achievements are. Only when we have an assessment, then only we will be able to know whether we have achieved our targets, our objectives or not. And therefore, this NAS, this National Achievement Survey of Schools, which our director SCRT has already shared with us, is an assessment of the performance of our schools across schools, whether private or government or central schools. The NAS is an assessment of the health of the education system in the country. And in Nagaland, the NAS, as she had already shared, was carried out, because NAS is carried out not extensively across the school, but this is based on sample. And as she had shared, this was carried out as mandated by the GOI, carried out by the officers, by the teachers of our government schools, but this was spread out across schools, private and government in our state. And this was carried out in 910 schools in our state, involving 5,507 teachers and involving 28,995 students in our state. And she has already shared the outcome, the findings of the learnings in our schools in the classes. I will not get into the details, but the NAS has indicated what is the learning outcomes in the various subjects in the various grades. Whether we are able to achieve our targets, whether there is learning outcome or not, that the NAS has already indicated. Then number 2, the other one is foundational learning survey. We are all aware of the National Education Policy 2020. And the National Education Policy gives emphasis to foundational learning and numeracy.
And it is our responsibility to take this message, this finding. Today we have 31 school heads in our workshop today from Kohima district, but down to the school heads and the school heads further to all the teachers. And this is how, in a very systematic way, this breaking down of this NAS findings is taking place.